are live. Just give me a minute here to post this link on X. All right, just posted that up here. Let's go ahead and refresh this. There it is. So today I want to go over Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano, Solana. As you can see, Bitcoin is currently trading in a massive range. All right, let's go ahead and pull that fixed range volume profile. We lost the value area high, traded back inside, came down right to the point of control, pretty much sliced right through it, right? We didn't spend much time at the point of control before then rotating to the value area low, finding some support. And we haven't lost the value area low. The value area low is holding up quite well. You know, some people might say it's not that important, but as you can see, price is respecting these levels. And some people might say, okay, well, you know, it's not really respecting it. It's catching up to the price action. You know, I beg to differ. So if we go here and let's just say before we even knew this drop was going to happen, right? You'll see here, hits it, pull it forward. All right, price comes right back down to it. It's just respecting it as time goes on. So these value area highs, value area lows are very important. All right, I'm gonna keep it on Azul for now. Yeah, let's go ahead and zoom into the daily time frame. So clearly range bound, right? This was my trade idea before because we have a monthly demand right below, right? So the last monthly candle before this massive buy side imbalance on a monthly time frame, right? So mark out this candle. We have the midpoint of the candle as well. And we're really waiting to see what happens when price touches this area, because there's going to be some orders resting in this zone, mainly, you know, within this area, right? So with that being said, we want to see if this area is just acting as a magnet, and I believe it is. You know, if we go down, let's go to the weekly time frame. Even though it's holding here, there's going to be a lot of resting liquidity below 94,000, 74,800, pretty much 75,000. So if we don't get a move up soon, right, for a higher low, right, let's just go ahead here. We can even just pull the original fibs, right? Look, it basically came down to the 886. Let's go ahead and take off some of these. It's like the last line of defense fib. Came down to this level, bounced, and it looks like it wants to push higher, right? Looks like it wants to push higher, right back into the point of control. And if we don't get some bullish buying pressure stepping in here to bring it up to all-time highs, very similarly to like what you saw here, right? If we don't get this price action, then like I've said before, we might just end up rolling over, hitting this level before possibly continuing higher, or coming back down and just rotating lower and lower till we find some support and pumping higher, right? And this might just take a while. This could take 1 to 2 years before it sets up for the next bull run. Very similar to what we saw here. We go ahead and pull this, right? No price action here. Just something very similar, right? Look at this. It's always interesting when you pull these, right? So you can kind of just see what price action has done. And you can start to see how similar it is, right? You had a high here, comes down, another high here, comes down. It almost looks like it's setting up to do the same exact thing, right? Like, is this what we might get from Bitcoin? All right, right into 2029. Is this what we're setting up to get here? I feel like I should post this on X. Right, because it is very, very similar. Very, very similar, right? Sure, there's going to be a lot of people that appreciate this post. Your permabulls will probably appreciate this post. Let me go ahead and copy this image. Let's just go ahead and drop it on X. Oh. And let's see what happens. Should have hit this actually. It would have been a little bit cleaner, right? Should have hit all of this actually. But anyway, so yeah, that is Bitcoin. It is just stuck in between this range, right? So let's go ahead and zoom into the local price action to see if there are any trade setups, because it's always good to do a top-down analysis, right? We had liquidity swept from the highs, big move to the downside. The next area where I would expect price to go would be this monthly low. Monthly swing low, right? Because that's just where a lot of liquidity is. If we start taking out these lows, then in my opinion, that's when I would kind of expect this to now be a market structure shift and price to just come down lower. If we defend these lows, then that's a good sign. We should then move to take out these highs. It just might take a little bit of time. In my opinion, we are probably going to get something like this. Comes down, push up. As you can see, this was the protected low that we thought it was. Price comes up before coming down, entering a multi-month low, right? Bottom of the bear market before start moving up higher again. And even this little move to the upside, this takes a very long time. Like, it took 1 year just to move from 15,000 to 36,000. So 1 year to basically double up. So it's a slow moving price action here. A very slow moving price action. All right. So this could also just be very slow moving price action, right? I still believe we come down to this level at the very least. And the lows of this bear market, my guess would probably be somewhere around here. But let's just say, even if we went to the yearly time frame, right? We had a swing low here, possibly a swing high there. Go ahead and pull our fibs. All right, let's just break it into quarters. So 50% of this massive swing would be 70,000. 75% retracement would be 43. And lately, Bitcoin has been respecting a lot of these 75% retracements. which would lead it, sweeping these lows right into this consolidation support, which makes sense in my opinion, before moving higher. So it could go all the way down here. It might take about 1.5 years, who knows how long. It's not impossible, but it is something that can happen. All right, so keep that in mind. And let's go ahead and jump down to let's see the weekly really quick. So we know monthly it's bearish, possibly aiming for these lows. Weekly we had a swing high here, swing low. All right, this is the overall range. 50% is right up here, so this is pretty big resistance, right? This 90, let's see, this 96 to 99,000, pretty big resistance. That's where I'm expecting price to still push up a little bit higher, sweep these highs before continuing down, in my opinion. I really believe it's gonna end up coming back down. It might even go to the golden pocket of this retracement. It could push up all the way to there before really selling off lower, right? Let's go down to the daily. So one more time on the weekly, still bearish. Looking for pullbacks. If we get the pullbacks, expect a rejection around 96, 97,000. Worst case scenario, I can't say worst case scenario, but the highs may be around 107 before we get another leg down, possibly. And then you see the 50% of that drop is right at this swing low, very important swing low. Could even go to 103,000 right before moving lower. So that's something to just keep an eye on. Daily, we are in a range, right? So swing high, keeping down the swing lows. Let's go ahead and just put the white one on there, right? We are in a range, as you can see. You might even want to, if you want to use this, you can. You see price is respecting, right? Look at all the wicks. The wick even came down, tested it right there too as well. So it is a respected level. You start to do this, maybe, oh, 1 second. Maybe pull it to this high, last high there. You see price respecting it, right? So it's pretty valid as well, which will kind of line up, right? You have the 618 golden pocket, weekly fair value gap. It's pretty much all lining up right there. And if we go from this swing high, 50% retracement of that level too as well. So we flipped this support, this resistance into support, right? So keep that in mind. This resistance has been flipped into support, which is pretty bullish. So as long as we stay above this level, I would just be expecting higher prices to come. Sometimes you just want to keep it very simple, right? So as long as we stay above this level, I'm expecting higher prices. You start trading below this level, which is around 89,000. Then I'll just be for sure aiming for these lows around 80,000, right? Just keeping it simple here. I'll use the, right. Guess we don't really need that. Let's go ahead and take this off. Less distractions, right? Goodbye. Goodbye. So there we go. I'm really liking this push to the upside. I would actually enjoy seeing a move up before coming down. That's what I really would like to see. Not sure if we're going to get it, but we might. Could go ahead and hide that for now. But right now it is just range bound. You know, if you're looking for an intraday trade, you kind of missed this high. This would have been a nice short trade, right? Scalp short. Then aiming back for this support. If we go down to the 4-hour time frame, same thing. You'll see it a little bit more clear. These wick highs, right? Bitcoin loves to grab liquidity and sell off. Grab some liquidity, sell off, grab some liquidity, sell off. So what am I expecting it to do? Go up, grab some liquidity, either sell off or move higher to around 97,000. One time framing on the 4 hour to the upside, so all these 4 hour lows are being defended. So not really surprised there. Let's see this random stuff here, what we got going on. I don't know who this person is, but I appreciate them. They seem to like a lot of my stuff. Yeah. So Bitcoin, bullish for the most part. And you'll see, right, when you see these lows being defended, that means when you zoom in, it's just making higher highs and higher lows, right? If we go to the 30 minute, you can say higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. Technically higher high, higher low. It's trying to make another higher high. But it is rolling over a little bit right now. It's finding some resistance right around here. Right. Yeah, right around there. Which in a way, see, lines up with that. So it's always good to look left. Keep things very simple. All right, resistance, resistance, resistance. Big move to the upside, comes down, test that area. Impulse is higher, test that area again. Impulse is higher, fails below it. Resistance, resistance, test it again. Comes up, test it again. So on a more local time frame here, it becomes even more bullish once we start flipping this 91,500. Right? So once it starts to flip this 91,700 area, 91,700 into support, right, playing it level by level, then we can start to aim for 94,800. Until then, who knows? It can pretty much stay range bound a little bit here, taking out some lows, coming back up. Kind of like how this is nice and bold like that. Let's see what these are. So that's the gray one. Interesting. Let's go ahead and save that one. I like it when it's bright like that. It looks nice. All right. So now we know Bitcoin's a little bit range bound. It's also looking a little bearish, in my opinion, on the lower time frame, right? Not on the 4 hour or higher. Those look pretty bullish, but on the local time frames, the low time frames, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we get a little bit of a pullback. Took some liquidity here, right? If I just pull this, right, took some liquidity here, and then it took this liquidity as well. So it would make sense to get a little bit of a pullback here. Right? It doesn't have to, but it would make sense. It's pretty much all up to this little low right there, right? So this low, clear pivot low on the 30 minute. Not that nice. This is a nicer swing low. You want to see it pretty much defend these lows, right? I actually like this one better. All right, you want to see it defend these lows. Could come down, sweep it a little bit, move a little bit higher. Would not be surprised. Go down to the 5 minute chart. Took the highs, big move down. Got some equal lows down here, which looks like a nice target. So let's see here. All right, so now let's go ahead and take a look at Ethereum. we got no viewers in here. Nice. Yeah. No supply zone, which was tested. Once again, Ethereum is very similar to Bitcoin, like always, just range bound, right? Just trying to see if it could hold this trend line to move higher. That's what is nice about this trading, is that once you start to have an understanding, it does get a lot easier, right? You just have to have your targets, which is your swing highs and swing lows. Understand price moves based off of liquidity. It searches for liquidity. Once it gets to it, it highlights the next best area to go to. It's usually on the opposite side of the range. Or it could be internal liquidity, and then you just target those areas, use the right stop losses, and you just manage your risk, right? So nothing's really happening. Low volume, obviously. It's on the East Coast here, so 10 o'clock at night. Ethereum's just holding this trend line, which is nice to see. Let's go to the daily. See what that swing low was. The actual swing low is all the way down here, right? So it would make sense. Look, it already came down, tested the golden pocket very nicely, actually. Very nice and clean. So yeah, I mean, this would be an interesting area to long. Aim for those highs at the very least. All right, and if you start to lose this trend line, then just like Bitcoin, you aim for the lows, right? But if it holds up here, you aim for the highs. We got a high right here at around, let's see, 3,600. So we just have to see how this stuff plays out in the upcoming days. Not much else to really say with Ethereum. Just looking for longs based on this bullish price action. Even though Bitcoin is a little bit bearish, it's something to keep in mind. But Ethereum hasn't really swept any major liquidity. I mean, it did do a failed auction of these highs, came back inside. One time framing on the daily to the downside, which is obviously bearish. But it did just hit a very key support zone. So if today closes above this low, then I would be expecting an expansion to the upside. If not, then we may actually end up breaking this trend line and moving lower to this weekly swing low. But let's go down to like the 30 minutes, 1 hour. Let's see, took a high right there, came down, took these lows, 618. Yeah, no trade really. I mean, if you really want to be extremely patient, you can wait to see if some of these lows are taken out again, right? See if price comes down, takes out this low one more time. And then enter in right here, which lines up with the trend line and the golden pocket once again. Let's go ahead and put an alert on that. I'll do 90 minutes, once per bar. Leave it like that. And yeah, I would actually take that long, depending on if we get some bullish price action at that level. You know, so and obviously stop below the lows. All right. And aim for the high. That would be a nice 2.5 to 1 risk reward. So let's go ahead and take a look at Solana. Let's go to Coinbase. Monthly swing high, trying to form a monthly swing low. This was a monthly swing low actually, which is very interesting. Price swept it. Held above it. Created a weekly swing low. Let's actually go ahead and put this here. All right, weekly swing low. Came and took it out right here before reclaiming it. Daily swing low here was defended here. Possibly just go long here on this close, confirming a swing low. And if you did that, you would be in the profits right now with the stop below that low. Or if you were a little bit more cautious, stop below that low. 6%, pretty wide. But then you would for sure want to at least target the highs. You know, if you don't want to target the nearest swing high, because then that's right there. It's a terrible risk reward. Target here, so when it goes to 1-to-1, not terrible. But, you know, you definitely want to at least go for the highs at this point. And that just looks like exactly where it is actually heading, right? Which pretty much lines up with that pivot low. You see how exact that is? But yeah, this is the clear high to aim for on the daily. It's very close, but it's creating another swing low right here, which is also very bullish. 12-hour already created the swing low. I would just be aiming for these highs for Solana for sure, right? Looking like a consolidation phase. Expansion should come soon. Go down to the 4-hour. Yeah, still looking bullish. Nothing here looks bearish. Bullish market structure. Looks like we're aiming for $143 local high, with the main target being 146.44. But I'm actually just going to move it there because I like having the exact highs. Right? Let's get OCD on people. Boom. So yeah, just like that. It's the next high to aim for, bullish. And then of course, you know, once price gets up here, depending on the price action, then there's nothing to do but look for a short if it starts trading back inside. And then aim for the range lows, the best thing to do. But if we do get price coming out of it, holding this as support, then you just aim for the next most relevant highs. It's just always best to aim for the highs, because even though price chops around and it might not seem like it's getting there, it might just be building liquidity, but eventually it tends to go to these clear highs, right? So just something else to keep in mind. And let's go ahead to Cardano. Haven't looked at Cardano in a while. Could even look at like Trump coin, something like that. Let's see, I blasted through it. Selling off a little bit. Probably touch 517 before moving higher. But let's go to ADA. This thing has been selling off like crazy. Such a disappointing chart. Yeah, even on the, let's see the monthly. Got a scam wick low. Don't like it. At all. Yeah, weekly's not really respecting it just because it's not like a natural wick. But yeah, weekly clearly bearish. It's trying to confirm a swing low here. It did one here, but just took it back out. Yeah, it's just been very bearish. Very, very bearish. All right. That was the weekly. I'll put weekly here as well. Made a daily swing low here. Took out 1, 2, 3. Came above. And you definitely do not want to see it trading back below even 37 cents. Let's go ahead, and since it's a daily, let's just do the swings. I guess it can come down to 35.65. But at these lows, it would need to really hold. It would really need to hold this low. But right now, it is super, super bearish. This is clear support resistance right here. So yeah, you don't even want to see it, in my opinion, trading below not even 38,000. Like, it could come here, wick down, grab liquidity, and move. That's what you want to see. You do not want to see it start doing this, because what's going to happen is it's likely then to try to test these lows, and then who knows how low it'll go. It does not mean here it can't find a little bit of support and move higher, but this is resistance. See, resistance, resistance. Every time it came up for resistance, it moved lower, right? And not only did it move lower, it took out the previous low, right? Took out the low, moved higher, failed, took out this low, move higher, passed. If it comes back down again, it's more than likely going to take out this low, 32,000. So keep that in mind. And yeah, locally, if you're looking for longs, best around 38, 35 after these lows are swept. It looks like it's going to be moving lower. And yeah, overall, it's just a disappointing project. I mean, you have a 4-hour swing high here. It's rejecting off the nav zone. And that's just it. Boom. It's aiming for these lows. I would be short to these lows right now as a day trade. Short to the lows. Stop above the highs. You can even put above this little high. Aim for these lows. And then that's just one trade. 1-to-1. Risk 1.7 to make 2.5. Not a terrible trade. Obviously, we're pretty low, right? It's not like the best area to be looking for shorts, but if you want to be a little aggressive, you can technically trade that as a short, because it is at resistance and it's currently being rejected. It's a technical rejection, so it can go down lower. It's valid because of those reasons. It's technical. It's at a resistance. At the highs, you aim for the lows. At the lows, you aim for the highs. Yeah, not a bad trade to see if it will play out. Obviously, the best time to go short was like around here after taking these highs, right? The retest. And obviously, the best place to long is down here. Like I said before, you want to wait until these lows get taken, relative equal lows, which looks like is what it's aiming for. Oh my God. Okay. Take out these lows. And does something like this. Holds value up here and takes off. All right. So, you know, if you want to be more patient, yes, it's probably best to wait for these lows than to go short. But if you're going to wait, then why not just be in a trade if you're managing your risk, right? But yeah, that's pretty much it. Gonna end this live stream here. Thank you for watching. Remember to like and subscribe. And I'll try to do this again tomorrow at the same time, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Take care. Follow me on X. And like and subscribe.